Hello viewers, I am Syeda Shameemunnisa from Computer Science Engineering Department of RYM Engineering College, Bellary. This video is to present a seminar topic on MGFAST, a new generation of copper broadband access. The contents of this video are as follows. Now let me introduce you to the topic. What is MGFAST? Before knowing what is MGFAST, let's know what was GFAST. GFAST referred to gigabyte of data that was transferred to the users. The ITUT team has brought this MGFAST technology that stands for multi-gigabyte fast access to the subscriber terminals. Basically, through this MGFAST technology, they are trying to provide a heap of bit rates of up to 10 gigabytes per second over twisted pair and concentric wiring. You might be thinking, how is this MGFAST technology achieved? This MGFAST technology access to the customer premises is achieved by substantial expansion of frequency spectrum, advanced coding, and the use of full duplex transmission. Let's see the objective of this MGFAST technology. The ITUT team aims to provide this rate of data transfer beyond 212 MHz of frequency by using full duplex operation, by aggregating the data rates of 5 and 10 gigabytes per second over single twisted pair and coaxial cable. Area would be the telecommunication and information communication technology, that is ICT. The International Telecommunication Union aims at providing efficient and timely production of standards covering all the fields of ICT on a worldwide basis. It also defines traffic and accounting principles for international telecommunication services. Now let's see the methodology that has been adopted by the ITUT team in order to bring up this MGFAST. Figure 1 illustrates the FDX operation. FDX is a full duplex transmission. The FDX operation can double the spectral efficiency when compared to the TDD, that is the time division duplexing. In this figure, we can clearly see the downstream and the upstream priority that has been adopted. The implementation of FDX over the coaxial cable is relatively straightforward. Let me tell you how is this. By the use of low attenuation and the absence of crosstalk allows achieving close to the doubling of aggregate bit rates using echo cancellation. With the time division duplexing compatibility, the FDX framing, that is the FDS subframe that prioritizes the downstream uses reduced transmit power from the customer premises equipment. In the figure, we can see the FDS. During the FUS, that is upstream subframe, the CPEs, that is the customer premises equipment, use the full upstream transmit power while compromising the downstream performance. This time division duplexing synchronized switching between the FDX states using different transmit power levels facilitates compatibility between the time division duplexing and the full duplexion, achieving nearly optimal data rates. This FDX operation can provide the same maximum peak rates as the time division duplexing and simultaneously very large data rates in the opposite direction. That was impossible in the time division duplexing. Therefore, by using the FDX operation, we are trying to make it possible and also improve the services that is being provided to all the users. In the figure 2, we can see the advanced forward error correction methodology. This methodology is a combination of TCM, that is trellis coded modulation, and RS code, that is Reed-Solomon code, which is a basic mandatory part for the MGFAST forward error correction. In the figure 2, we can see the RS encoder that takes the data from the data transfer units and gives it to the probabilistic constellation shaping, that is the PCS, and the LDPC. LDPC is the low density parity check. The inner TCM, while it provides substantial coding gain, the Reed-Solomon code with interleaving performed over multiple RS code words forms a DTU, adds robustness against the narrow band radio frequency interference, and it corrects errors that cannot be handled by the inner code. In order to increase the spectral frequency, which I was talking in the recent slide, to increase the spectral efficiency, the MGFAST is using the advanced coding scheme instead of TCM, which combines the LDPC coded modulation and the PCS. The LCM is compatible and it still benefits the outer RS code. The PCS is known for voice band modems and recently gained attention in the optical fiber transmission. The bits, after being shaped by the PCS and the uncoded bits from the Reed-Solomon, are now transferred to the QAM constellation mapper. QAM is a quadrature amplitude modulation. The use of QAM constellations with all the constellation points transmitted with the same probability results in a gap in channel capacity up to 1.53 dB compared to the capacity achieved in the Gaussian signal. The QAM constellations allows loading one additional bit per tone on average, which results in about 10% data rate increase in both the transmission directions on both short and long lines. Now let's see one such example of the MGFAST deployment. This figure is an example in which there are both the cases, that is point-to-point and point-to-multipoint customer premises equipment connections. This figure shows the deployment over coax with the satellite TV. The user applications are served via wired or wireless in-home networks, as you can see in the figure. The power supply unit at the DPU uses RPF powers collected by the PE, that is power extractors. In coax installation passive duplexers, frequency separate the MGFAST from the satellite TV. The MTUs, which you can see in the figure, is the MGFAST transceiver units that reside at the DPU and at the CPE. At the DPU, we can see this MGFAST transfer unit as MTU-O, and at the CPE, that is at the customer premises, we can see the MGFAST transceiver unit, that is MTU-R, that is the receiver. Like the GFAST transceiver unit, the MTU in the transmit direction, it processes the packets of user data coming from upper layers of the transmission protocol. MGFAST is an extension of GFAST, for which backward compatibility and operation with GFAST in the same binder are required. Therefore, like GFAST, MGFAST uses discrete multi-tone modulation by applying the same tone spacing of 51.75 kHz and the same default cyclic extension. The DTM is necessary to facilitate the mutual crosstalk cancellation between MGFAST and the GFAST when deployed from the same DPU. Now quickly let me tell you about the benefits of MGFAST. This MGFAST technology is going to provide sub-millisecond latency. It is going to increase the current GFAST data rates, that was 1 GB per second. Through MGFAST, we are going to increase it to 10 GB per second. It also reduces the latency of transmission and the cost that is required in order to provide service to the customers. It has flexible use cases, that is, it can be wireless and business applications. It has a flexible asymmetric ratio. It is much more robust and fiber level quality over copper. The future scope would be impulse noise monitoring, that is, there would be no disturbance during the transmission of the data, even though it is 10 GB per second. And the metrics for the service rate would attain the throughput estimation under the current noise conditions. It is going to have improved UBPO, the frequency dependent. It would have a coordinated DTA, that is, it could have a dynamic change of up or down split over the vectored group. And it would define short time division duplexing frames for delay sensitive applications like radio, front haul, CPRI transport, etc. In conclusion, I would like to state that the MGFAST technology is expected to have all the capabilities of GFAST and moreover while running at multi-gigabyte speed. The new duplexing and frame structures are being defined to provide wireline and 5G applications on a single backhaul or fronthaul MGFAST line, including the ultra reliable and low latency communication and ultra fast broadband. In the past 30 years, there was a digital transmission over telephone lines, which has now been advanced from the basic rate integrated services to the highest multi-gigabyte. The ITU-T GFAST standard is now deployed by the service providers around the globe, making gigabyte class service available to the multitude of customers, many of whom would have never had the fiber to the home access. Therefore, I would like to conclude that the MGFAST technology is surely going to increase the current GFAST data rates by a factor of 10 while reducing the transmission latency and the cost that is required to provide the service. Here are the references. Thank you for patiently watching this video.